What's going on, boys? My name is Sid, and there is a lot of different vanity items in the Crew Motorfest. In fact, on this car alone, I have Nitro there. We've got a smoke on as well, but that's kind of the only ones I go for nowadays. I don't do too much on the tires other than letter tires, and I don't like window tints. I don't like underglows unless it's for a specific, very specific theme. In fact, with the tone shift that this game was going for originally from all the trailers, I assumed maybe Motorfest wouldn't even have vanity items return. It just didn't make any sense to me. I just could have sworn that the game's theme just didn't really match well with vanity items. But I was wrong. Vanity items did in fact come over. A lot of them disappeared, but a lot of the ones that you'd think would disappear in a game going for a much more serious car vibe didn't disappear. And instead, other ones came into the game absolutely broken. So I thought I would go into today talking about some of the vanities that are completely and utterly broken. Let's start with some of the ones that are kind of just whatever, honestly, and that is window tints, because there's a few different things that are broken with a few of the window tints in the game, and the first one is on the RB18, the brand new Red Bull vehicle we got. There's one weird thing about this thing, and that is that, well, it has window tints at all. What are you tinting? I'm actually curious. What are we tinting? I mean, a bunch of clouds moving. You'd think you could see a bunch of clouds moving. Where are the clouds? For a car that you actually can't do anything other than vanity, it is strange that it's managed to have some kind of bug in the vanities. It's so simple. How do you get that wrong? And from one car brand that has allowed us to do absolutely nothing to our vehicle to a car brand that doesn't let us do very much at all. We're in the Ferrari SF90, the brand new Italian Ferrari brand car, whatever, that we got not too long ago now, actually. Is this still the most recent year one pass vehicle? It is, right? I guess we get more with Hoonigan. Well, as much as I like this thing, Ferrari, like I mentioned, don't really let you do anything to their cars, and it's really, really, really annoying. For some reason, Italian Nitrous, you know, for the Italian car, you for some reason can't use Italian Nitrous. Why is that? Why is that something you would disallow, Ferrari? But just like Red Bull, a company that allowed no customization, Ferrari limits customization, and all of a sudden, now we've got a bug. And maybe, it might just be because they know that you can't do it, so they just don't bother testing it, because there's one window tint on the Ferrari, and that's the blacked out window tint. But here's the issue. Give a look to the headlights. The headlights get window tinted as well. This is a bug since the Crew 2. Not on this car, because obviously this car wasn't in the Crew 2, but on like a Nissan GTR. They patched it because I looked for it for ages, but one of the Nissan GTRs in the Crew 2 also had the headlight window tint bug. But the issue with that one was that you could put on any window tint. You could put on animated window tints, and they would animate over the headlights. It was actually quite a cool idea. Makes me think, on top of number plate vanities, maybe Ivory Tower could add different color headlight vanities. The next one is a shorter segment because we're talking about... Well, there's not a lot of them. Like I mentioned, people don't really care about them. I don't really care about them. I only really use them in situations where they really work. Like a absolute menace to society drifts around at 1 a.m. BMW M5. Or any kind of German sedan. This thing I think the Underglow works on because it's the perfect kind of stock car blacked out and someone's just bought... I've crashed. And this guy's just bought like an LED kit off of Wish. It's a great vanity and it works for this situation, but that's the only time I use underglows. But you know what's something weird? That underglows aren't just on cars. They're also on boats. If you go to customization and you go vanity items, well, the underglows on this thing look like they work. And I don't actually know if this is specific to this boat. This is just what I saw this be done on. You'll notice if I get to a specific one, something goes a bit awry. You can see our boat now has wings. We've turned a ice blast into wings. I'm so curious if this works on anything else. But they actually look like proper, like it's supposed to be like shards of ice, but they've made perfect wings. Here we go. So this is what the Vanity looks like on a car, and this is what the Vanity looks like now tested on every single boat in the game. In fact, this one's all wibbly wobbly with the waves. So if you wanted to give your boat wings, that's how you do it. Something very, very important to a car is, of course, the... That includes the rims as well as the tires on a car. But what if those are the two things that stop actually working properly? Well, it's a good thing they fixed the white wall tires then, because if your wheels are gonna make a big part of the car, you'd want your tires to very much work and make sense, you know. So it's good. It's a good thing that the white wall tires work now, because they didn't before, of course. I think they fixed that in the last patch, because I feel like I remember they said they did, yeah. So that's good. That's good. Except these aren't the white wall tires. These are the very close, but not the white wall tires, old vibe tires. Because I think you'll know that for some reason, the regular white wall tires, the ones that are given to everybody, just the different compounds of all the tires, the off-road, the monster truck ones, the ones you can put on every single car, street, drift, slicks, these ones, there is a stock white wall tire without the little red line that old Vibe has. But for some reason, they don't work. They've been this since the start of the game. You can see that it's supposed to be white walls, but not. No. Now, this one really annoys me. Honest, am I going so slow that my arm's out the window while racing? Wow. Now, this one really annoys me because I've got so many cars that I want to put white wall tires on. In fact, a car like this, I've just left these on because I'm like, yeah, once they're white walls, that'll be great. Finally. I could have sworn they patched this. Did they not patch this? There's so many cars I want white wall tires on, but I can't because they won't let me. In fact, I'd like to drop this thing as well, but ride height isn't a thing in this game. Now, what's another part of the wheel that makes up the entirety of it? Other than the tires, you also have the rims of a wheel. The OEMs in some case. But I don't really like the OEMs on this thing. I don't really, is that a great term for this? I don't know. I don't really like those though. I think they look bad. In fact, I don't like any of these BMW ones. They're rubbish. I'm gonna go with a custom set of wheels. But they're definitely way too big. Like, look how big we can make these. Oh, those are massive. I don't want to go with wheels that big. It looks like I've got a flat tire. It looks like I've donked this thing. Instead, let's go smaller. A bit smaller. Okay, a bit smaller. Okay, a bit smaller than... Okay, a bit smaller than that. Okay, no... Yes, a bit... No, small... There we go. Yes, you can shrink your wheel down to, like, roughly 6 inches there. Like, if I, if that's, like, roughly, like, yeah, like an entire, like, 6 whole inches. Maybe 6.5, honestly. And you can do the same thing on the high end and the same thing on the low end to the back. But this doesn't end here. You can see we've got Vanity tires on. Yeah, those Vanity tires also get affected by these rims. As far as I know, this only works on this car, but there may be other cars this works on. But there are some dumb rims for this. Like these ones. It turns the X's into H's. And then we get to the aero discs where it's all just, oh, it gets so good here. This is where it gets a lot more fun. You can put entirely pink prismatic wheels. Oh, it seems to have mangled the log wheels. Oh, what's it done to them? Those are very silver. And my personal favorite, Oh, whoa, those are okay. My personal favorite, the rabbit wheels. And yes, this works outside of customization. We got little propeller wheels now. Oh no. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Oh no. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, you know what? Honestly, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. You can use any of the different rims, break them, and put them on the base M4, and then drive them in the open world completely broken. And next is but some of them aren't very obvious. This one here being an example. See, do you see anything wrong with this Nitro here? Anything slightly odd about the Nitro? Maybe, right? Maybe you've seen it and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's what's going on there. Or maybe you haven't. Well, I'll explain. See, normally, a Nitro goes out of the car. Normally, you know, outwards from the exhaust. Not on the Nissan, though. Because on the Nissan, they've rigged the Nitrous to go in to the exhaust. You can see it going into the tires there. They've rigged the Nitro backwards somehow. How do you do that? How do you do that wrong? But that happens with every Nitrous on this single car. But the next thing is a single Nitrous, which bugs on every car. See, if you put a Vanity on known as the Ice Stalactite Nitro, this one has something special about it. See, because if you tap the Nitro, it doesn't do anything. If you keep tapping it, it still doesn't do anything. But the moment you use even a little bit of Nitrous, it will hold there forever. The animation is bugged to permanently continue to trigger, to permanently leave ice stalactites everywhere, I guess. In fact, you can't Nitrous when you're not accelerating. I'm trying to right now, but even when you're not accelerating, it still keeps going. Handbraking doesn't stop it. Stopping doesn't stop it. Reversing doesn't stop it. In fact, weirdly, the only way to stop it is to tap your NOS again. But the moment you keep it going for a big amount of time, it comes back. In fact, if you keep a big amount of time, a second time, it stays there. You can have your NOS triggered for the whole of a demo royale, for the whole of a grand race. Such a strangely broken vanity, like most of the strangely broken vanities in this video. Shout out to you and Thaya Karen, who does this same format of videos but for Forza Horizon. I thought I'd bring this interesting list of unique cars and stuff in the game to the crew. If you want to see it for Forza, check out his channel.
Anyway, thank you to popular members, thank you to the famous members, and thank you to the star members, Danimal the Manimal and Grim Pepper. And an insane top of the top thank you to the icon member, HK, Hong Kong, you get me? And I will see you boys in the next one. That's about it from me in a bit.